Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me today in this course, and right now we are going to be working with installing Git so that after we have it installed, we can start working with actually using Git. So installing Git is pretty easy. It works on all operating systems, and all you have to do is go to the official Git website, which is git-scm.com. That's git-scm.com, SEM. So we go to the official Git website. You see we have all this info about Git, documentation. There's also a little computer screen on our computer screen. That's kind of funny. And for me, it says download for Linux. Now, obviously, it's going to be different for you depending on what operating system you're using. But you can just click that button and install. Or maybe if you want to install it for a different system, just click on downloads right here next to the little download icon. And you see that's going to pull up downloads, so you can choose the operating system that you want. For instance, Windows, but I'm not going to do that. And just like that, you can get Git installed. It's very, very simple. Now, alternatively, once you have Git installed and you want to update Git, okay, you want the newest version of Git, you can actually update Git using Git, which is, I think it's kind of funny. So if we open up our terminal here, all we have to say is git clone https://github.com/git/git. So this is basically just taking the GitHub repository for Git and then reinstalling it on our machine, because what's on GitHub with Git is the latest version of Git. So you'll enter that and you see it doesn't work because I have actually already updated Git. And just like that, you have installed and updated Git. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright guys, so in this video we are going to initialize an empty Git repository in our project folder. So you see right here in my programs directory, I have my project opened up in the terminal. Make sure that you're in the proper directory in your terminal. And if you open up my project, you'll see I just have a text document that just has a bunch of random filler text. So what we want to try to do in this video is initialize a Git repository in this my project folder so that we can track all the additions, deletions, and changes that we make to everything in this folder. So in order to do that, very, very simple, all we're going to do is open up our terminal, make sure in your project folder, and type in git init, which means git initialize. You're initializing a Git repository in the selected folder. So you see now it says initialize Git repository, and this .git folder shows up in our my project directory. Okay, so I'm going to delete that and then run git init again, and you'll see the .git folder pops up once again. Okay, so this is great, but notice how it says empty Git repository, meaning that we haven't actually added anything to the repository. We have not added the text.txt document inside the Git repository. So one thing that you're going to have to check is you're going to want to open up your terminal and you're going to want to type in git status. And what this command is going to let you do is it's going to show you what you haven't actually saved to the repository. Okay, so when I press enter on this, you see untracked files text.txt. We have not added that to the Git repository. So we have to add it and then commit it to the Git repository in order for it to officially be saved. And that is what we are going to be going over in the next video. So thank you guys so much for watching this, and I hope to see you then. Alright guys, so we have initialized a Git repository inside our My Project folder. Now it's time to actually add text.txt to our project. And you may be wondering, wait, why do we have to do this? Why isn't everything just automatically saved for us? And keep in mind that Git is used by a lot of different people. It's used for a lot of different people, or just yourself, to work on a project at the same time. So if changes are constantly being made to the code, you can see that it can be very frustrating for developers when their code never works because the code is always being changed. So that's why we have to add and then commit things to our Git repository. So then official changes can be made, and then developers can work around when they add new features to the open source repository. Alright, so now that we have that cleared up out of the way, let's add the text.txt to our Git repository. In order to do that, all we're going to type in is git add, and then the name of the file that we want to add to our repository, which is text.txt. Okay, and we'll enter that. And now you see, if we type in git status, what it's going to show us is it's going to say changes to be committed, new file, text.txt. So all we have to do is commit that new file. In order to commit it, to make it official, add it to the repository, we're going to do git commit -m, and the message, -m means message, and the message that we're going to put for commit is initial commit, because that's usually what you call the first commit. That's usually the first commit message. Then after that, you would use the commit message to describe what you have changed to the repository, which I think is very, very helpful, because you can not only see what's changed, but you can also get a short description of it. Okay, so now that we have our commit message all typed out, we're just going to press enter, and you will see here that it says 1 file change, 7 insertions, and everything has been committed to our repository. So just to check and make sure everything's alright, I'll type in git status, and it says nothing to commit, working directory clean. Everything that we've changed, everything that we've added or deleted, it is all saved on the Git repository. Alright guys, so as you begin to work with bigger projects in Git, what you're going to want to do is sometimes you're going to want to make very, very large changes to your project, but at the same time you want to ensure that all your previous code, the code that you know works, is safe, so that if you screw up something very, very largely, you'll be able just to revert back to the previous state. And so Git makes this very easy for us. What we can do is we can create multiple branches, Git branches, and go off on a tangent in coding, and then commit the branch to the master branch, which is the main branch, so that we can easily implement features. So right now I'm on my project page, and we're going to create a Git branch by saying Git branch and then the name of the branch, which I'm going to call test. Okay, so now that we've created a Git branch, we're going to look at all of the branches that we have by typing in just simply Git branch. Okay, so we'll press enter on that, and you'll see we have a master branch and the test branch that we just created. Now something that you got to notice about the master branch is that it has a little asterisk next to the word master, and that means that that's the branch that we're currently on. Whenever we commit something, we're committing it to the master branch. However, we want to commit it to the test branch. So in order to do that, we have to switch from the master branch to the test branch by saying git checkout, just like you would at a grocery store, and the name of the branch, which is test. So I've switched over to branch test, and now when we go to git branch, you'll see that the asterisk is right by the test branch and not the master branch. Now what a lot of developers do is they create a new branch and then check out into it in one command. And in order to do that, what you can do is just type in git checkout -b for branch and then the name of the new branch that you want to create. So this is basically just shorthand, and it takes 2 commands and simplifies them into one. So now I'm going to open up my project, and I'm going to open up text.txt, and I'm going to make a bunch of changes. Alright, so I'll just put down some random stuff, and we'll save that, and then we'll do git add dot, and then git commit -m, and we'll set the message to messed everything up. So now you see we have committed to the test branch. Alright, so now what I can do is we'll open this up, and we'll say git checkout, and we'll go back to the master branch. So now that we're on the master branch, we're going to open this up, and you see the text.txt still says this is a test. It doesn't have all the stuff that we messed up. However, when we go back to git checkout and the test branch, you're going to see all of a sudden that changes, and it changes back to all that random text that we put in. So you see, just like that, we can switch between branches and go off on a tangent and save our work. So in case you didn't catch it, basically what we did in this video is we have our master branch, our big trunk, and what we did was we created a separate tangent from that. We created a test branch where we could make our own little tests without having it affect the master branch that still had all of our old code in there. So what we're going to be doing in the next video is we are actually going to be combining the test branch with the master branch so that they're the same thing, and then deleting the test branch. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you then. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me. Today what we're going to do is we're going to take the test branch, merge it with the master branch, and then delete the test branch, since the test branch and the master branch will be the same thing. And first what I want to do is check which branch we're on right now by going up into our terminal and typing in Git Branch. So you see right now it says that we're on the test branch because of the little asterisks. And if we open up text.txt, you'll see we have all the random text that we have from the test branch. So in order to merge, we're going to want to switch to the master branch by saying git checkout master. So now that we're at the master branch, you'll see if I open up text.txt again, it says this is a test. Alright, so in order to merge these two branches, all we have to do is go into our terminal and type in git merge test, which is the name of the branch that we want to merge. So now you see that we've merged the two branches together, and if we open up text.txt, it's going to have all the random text from the test branch, and not that this is a test branch. And you also see if we go to Git Branch, it says that we're on the master branch. So now all we have to do is delete test branch, since test and master branch are essentially the same thing now. In order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to type in Git Branch, and then the name of the branch that we want to delete, which is test-d for delete. So now you see it's deleted the branch, and if we go to Git Branch, it just has our master branch. So another thing to note when you're deleting branches is that sometimes it won't work when you haven't committed changes or when you haven't merged the two branches together. So in order to forcefully delete branches, instead of using a dash lowercase d, you use a dash uppercase d, and that will force delete the branches, and it'll work every time. But most of the times you just want to use the dash lowercase d. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Alright guys, so we are going to be getting into a little bit more complex stuff in this tutorial. Basically what we're going to be doing is screwing up our project directory and then reverting it back, even though we've committed everything. So first I'm going to copy these filler1 text and filler2 text to our directory. And I'm also going to open up text.txt, and I'm just going to type in a bunch of random stuff and just totally change that paragraph right there. Alright, so now I will control save. We'll close out of that. And next what we're going to do is just go to the terminal, type in git status, and you see we have modified text.txt and added two text documents. Now we want to add this all so that we can commit, but here's the problem. Adding two documents and then the text.txt, that's going to take a while. So instead of doing git add and then just going by the name of each file that we added, we can just type in dot. And so when we do git add dot, it's just going to add every single thing that we've changed. Alright, so that's a very simple way to do it. And now let's just commit. So we'll do git commit -m for message. And I'll just call this commit changed text.txt. And added filler1 and filler2. So we'll just go ahead and commit that. And now, if you go to git status, you'll see it says nothing to commit, working directory clean. So now what we want to do is if we open up text.txt, we are going to revert all of that random stuff that we put in there and get our my project back to what it was before. In order to do that, first we're going to type in git log. And what git log is showing us is it's showing us all the commits that we've made, which is very, very useful. And it also shows the commit message that we put with it. So what we're going to do is we are going to copy this long commit ID for the commit that we just made. We'll copy that. See right there? And then we'll do git revert. And then we will just paste in that long git ID. And what this is basically doing is it's just getting rid of all the stuff that we did in that commit. Okay? So now if I press enter, you will see those two files deleted. We're going to press Control X. And you see now those two files that we added have deleted. And if we open up text.txt, all that random stuff that I put in there before is now gone. We have successfully reverted back to the previous version that we had. Okay, so here we are in our project, and let's say we wanted to create a file that we didn't want people on GitHub to see. Let's say we wanted to create like a secret file that contains passwords and stuff like that for a website, for a project or whatever, and we don't want that to be sent out to the world. So in order to do that, we're just going to create a secrets folder. And then inside here, I'll just create a new folder and I'll say codes.txt. And then outside our project, I'll create another file. And that file will be named passwords.txt. So let's say we want the text.txt to be on our repository, but we don't want these two to be published to the web. We don't want people to see them. That's where git ignore comes in. And basically what git ignore does is it allows you, it's a file that allows you to hide files in your repository so that everybody in the web can't view them, or everybody that has your repository can't view them. So let's create a git ignore file. And to do that, we'll just create a new document and do .git ignore. Alright. So you'll see, if I do Control H, we have .git ignore. And if I open it up, you'll see already what I've done is I have put in the -secrets directory and passwords.txt into the file. And so basically what this is doing is this is saying everything in the /secrets directory, ignore that, and everything in the passwords.txt file, ignore that. That is not going to the Git repository because that is important stuff that needs to be just on our machine. So I'll save that, and now you see if I do git add dot and then git commit -m, and I'll say tests with git ignore, you'll see it only says one file changed, and that's the git ignore. These aren't actually on our Git repository, which I think is really cool. So let's say that you've created another file that you want to add to the git ignore, except for whatever reason it's still on your cache. So for instance, I have this testing.txt, it's not in my git ignore, and I'm just going to add it to our repository, doing git add dot and then git commit -m testing dot testing txt. So you see that we have this on here, it's on our repository, but now we don't want it. We want it to be in the git ignore. And so in order to do that, the first thing that you're going to have to do is remove the cache from this file. And luckily Git makes that very easy. So all you're going to have to do is say git rm for remove -- cached, and then the name of the file whose cache you want to remove. So in this case it would be testing.txt. So run that, and you see now it has removed the cache from testing.txt. We can now add this file to our git ignore, and that file will be safe. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Sweet. Alright guys, so now that you've worked with Git, it's time for you to upload your repository for everyone to see on the world's leading software development platform, which is GitHub. Alright, so first you're going to want to go to github.com, And once you've done that, I'm going to sign in, but if you don't have an account, make sure to sign up for GitHub. And we'll sign in. And now that I'm inside my account, I'm just going to go over to my profile. And you'll see on here, these are all the Git repositories that I have. This has all of the code pretty much that I've ever worked on. But we want to create a new repository, not edit an existing one. So in order to do that, we're going to click the little plus arrow at the top and click New Repository. Okay, so now that we're on this new repository page, I'm going to get a repository name, which will be my project. And then you can add a description if you want to, and we'll just create the repository. Alright, so now we are at this empty repository page. All we have to do is upload our existing repository to GitHub. So that's very, very simple. We're just going to go to our project in the terminal and say git remote add origin. And then we're going to copy and paste the URL that we have right here for our empty repository. And paste it in there and then put .git at the end. And so what this is going to do is this is going to connect our Git project to the one on GitHub. And this is the same thing that you would do if you wanted to upload a Git project to another website, for example, or if it is the website that is the Git project and you wanted to add a change to the website. So I'm going to press enter, and you see I've already added the remote origin. It's going to be different for you since you haven't. And all I have to do is push our Git file to the repository. So that's very simple. We'll just do git push -u origin master because we're on the master branch. That's what we're pushing. So I'll put in my username, which is Conrad Coder. I'll put in my password. Press enter. And just like that, we have uploaded to GitHub. So now you see, if I go back to Google Chrome and reload the page, it is now no longer empty, and it has text.txt, and it has all that stuff that we have in that text file. Now, what if I made a change to my project and I want to then re-upload it to GitHub? Well, that's actually even simpler. All we have to do is, so let me just make a change to the project. I'll go to Programs, My Project. Let's just take this text.txt and open it up and just delete all of it and say this is a test instead. So now we want this to be uploaded to GitHub and not the text.txt with all the other random stuff. So we'll save that, open up our terminal, and since we already added a remote origin, all we have to do is say git add dot git commit -m, and we'll put the message as this is a test. And now that we have that, we just have to push it to our GitHub repository. Alright, so in order to do that, what we're going to do is do git push -u origin master. Alright, press enter, put in our username, then put in our password. And now you see once that command is finished, if we reload the page once again, and then go to text.txt, it now says this is a test. So congratulations, you can now upload and edit projects on GitHub, and I will see you in the next video. Alright guys, so I'm here on our GitHub repository, my project, and today we are going to be talking about Readme Files. Now, what are Readme Files? Readme Files are essential to having other people using your code, using your project. It's basically just a file that is in a folder that the user, once they download it, is supposed to read so that they can know how to set up the project, use it, etc. So in this example, GitHub really wants us to use Readme Files. As you see down below, it says, help people interested in this repository understand your project by adding a README. And there's a little button right here for us to add a README. So what we're probably going to want to do is click that button. Okay, so now once we're here, you see we are going to create a README file for our GitHub repository, and it's very, very easy. Right here, whenever you start off a line with a hashtag, that makes it the title of the README. So if I go over to preview, it says my project in bold. I'm going to change the title to welcome. Let me make that W capital. Welcome to my project. Now you see if we head over to preview, you see the title says welcome to my project. Similarly, if we just start typing text on the next line, you'll see that it's just going to make smaller text. So I'll say this is a test to see how Readme works. And we click preview, and you'll see that the welcome to my project text is bigger than the this is a test to see how Readme works text is. Alright, very good. So likely we can also post links. So I'm going to post a link to my YouTube channel. So I'll say my channel, and I'll put YouTube there. And the user will be able to click on the link. So I'll paste the link in there. You go to preview, you see the link is blue, just like links are. And I can click on it and go to my channel. So now that we've created our Readme, what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down and we're going to commit it. So we can make a commit name. So I'm just going to call it made Readme. And then we are going to commit it to the master branch. Press the commit new file. And now you see, once we're on our project page, it says welcome to my project. This is a test. It has a link to my YouTube channel. I click on my YouTube channel and you'll see that I'll bring it right there. So yeah, Readmes are pretty useful and essential to making GitHub projects. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright guys, what is up? Today we are going to be working with Git Clone. And so basically what Git Clone is, now you know how to upload stuff to GitHub, but what if you want to download stuff to GitHub? What if you want to download other people's work or even your own work from GitHub to a selected directory on your computer so that you can start working and then re-upload it to GitHub and become an open source contributor? Now GitHub actually makes this very, very easy to do. So first you have to go to the desired repository, which for us is going to be my project, which is the sample repository that I made in the last videos. And you're going to click this green clone or download button. Now you can download the zip file, or you can just clone the entire Git repository, so with all the commits and stuff, just directly to the desired directory. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click this little link, and I'm going to copy it to my clipboard. And then we're going to open up our terminal and go to your desired directory that you want the repository to be stored in. So for that, it's just going to be the my project, and say git clone, and then paste in the URL that they give you to copy. So we will enter that. And now that you see it's done, if I go to our files, you'll see now this my project folder pops up in the my project directory, and it's basically what we have in our GitHub repository. So open that up, and it even has the readme.md and the text.txt. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Sweet. Alright guys, so as we get close to finishing our course, what I thought I would do is just do a course wrap-up video before you take the final Git test and get your certificate. So more on that later, but for now let's just go over everything that we did. So at the beginning of the course, we did some pretty basic stuff. We learned how to create Git repositories. We learned what Git actually was and how to use it. We learned how to track repositories, add, and finally commit repositories, the differences between all those commands, and how they work together. Then after you learned a little bit of that, we then went on to some more advanced Git and version control techniques. So we learned how to branch out from the master branch and how that is a lot safer. We also learned how to switch branches, how to combine branches together. We learned how to revert in case you mess up on a commit. And we basically just in this section learned how to make your Git repository a lot safer so that you don't end up losing code on your project. And then finally after that, we learned about GitHub. We learned what it was. We learned how to create repositories and how to download and update our own repositories so that we could then become open source contributors. We also learned a bit of README syntax so that now when you upload stuff to GitHub, people will be able to understand your projects a lot better. However, before you finish this course and get your certificate, one of the things that you're going to have to do is to complete the final Git test. Now luckily the Git test is not that hard and you can take it as many times as you want, but if you want to succeed on it quickly, what I suggest you do is go to the link in the resources of this lecture and it'll bring you to this class on memorize.com. And this website is very cool for memorizing vocabulary or definitions, but for this case it's going to help us with some of the Git commands that we learned during this course. So this has a brief description of everything that we've learned in this course with the command, and I suggest that you check it out and then after that take the final Git test. And I'd like to tell you one last thing before I end this video, and that is once you actually complete the course, make sure to go to your course dashboard and click on the little trophy icon so that you can claim your course certificate. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.